This is the Bridge 99 FM. Hello, welcome Bridge Nation, wherever you are, whether you're with us live, whether you're going to join us at your convenience on the internet, whether you look at our faces or you just can hear our voices. We welcome you, we claim you, we want a relationship with you. Everybody of Jamaican intent, birth, affection, join us on the Bridge 99. This is a public eye. Pernell Charles and myself come here every week for a couple of hours and discuss the affairs of the nation. We do so in a friendly fashion. We do so with a principle that with all the differences that we use to divide ourselves in this land, all humanity, if you really go down to it, we have a common identity. And that identity is as Jamaicans. And we have great hopes and great aspirations and great optimism about the potential of our people. So join us. The WhatsApp number is 876-551-5782 and the studio line is 876-676-4996. And you can download the mobile app from the Android Play Store and the Apple Store. It's the Bridge 99 FM. Later on in this hour, Mr. Lloyd Vermont, Sr., well-known insurance executive and public figure. He's written a letter, I wonder if Sir Pernell has seen it, about pensions and the need for pensions to be indexed because how inflation is ravaging the fastest growing section of the Jamaican population, which is those over 65.
Yes.
So we're going to discuss that with Mr. Lloyd Vermont. Can the Exchequer, can the Finance Ministry accept that responsibility? Should they? And how would it be funded? How would it be worked out? But it is a problem, you know. So the issue of pensions and broader issues, I'm sure, with Mr. Lloyd Vermont, perhaps in 20 minutes or so. And after 1 o'clock, returning guest, Bert Samuels, the noted attorney. Lord Reid, the president of the Privy Council, the Judicial Committee of the Privy Council in England,
Yes.
has written a letter this week.
Another letter?
No, the one you're referring to, saying that the judges in England love when the Jamaican cases come, and they're quite happy.
Right.
And so I want to ask Bert, does that close the issue of whether we stay with the Privy Council or we adopt the full jurisdiction of the Caribbean Court of Justice? And there are other matters to do with the behavior of the police, with the execution of justice, things that Bert Samuels always shares with us. So that'll be after 1 o'clock. Don't go anywhere. So, Mr. Charles, greetings, sir.
Greetings, my brother. I know you're interested in the group of Haitians that arrived.
Yes.
And somebody has, I think, advised the government that they have been asked to or they have volunteered to put them in a governmental discussion on laws so that they cannot be just sent back. You have to discuss it.
Yes.
Something that you said somebody should have done for the second group, and they didn't.
What do you think?
I am frightened of what is going on in Haiti. I mean, how could you ever expect children who are not heading towards young to want to stay there? Well, it's their country. I think that we can do better than what we're doing in terms of assisting those who survive and get out and come to what they call a free country. I am totally opposed to sending them back. I have been told that there's some international laws and local laws. I said, but there is a local conscience.
Hey, I wish I could clap. That is the key thing.
As far as I am concerned, Ronnie, it's like you rescue a man out of a lion den.
Yeah.
And as you take him out, you throw him back in the den.
Yeah.
And you know the lion will eat him.
Yes.
And worse, the lion will say where you was running to.
Yes. And then you say that you have to push him back into the land then because he never followed the right procedure.
Now, you ever find yourself in a lion den and You find him drop asleep. You say, you have to wake him up to leave.
Yes. I love your imagery. I love listeners to the Bridge 99, to the public eye. Listen to Colonel Charles. It's just a humane position. It's a position of conscience. You know, I try to be a Bible person. Yeah. And there's one set of people from the Old Testament through, the one set of people that are always favored by the Lord, and those are the refugees. And always he's telling, through the prophets, the children of Israel, he's saying, don't scorn the refugee, don't scorn the person without a state, because remember what it was like when you were under the Egyptians. Yes? And how you were redeemed and rescued. So the outsider, the one who is in danger, he always must get the preferential consideration. We Jamaicans who went through the same crucible of slavery, yes, and discrimination as the Haitians are now suffering, we who have had our own quotient of violence, sir. Yes.
Well, you know, Ronnie, I said to myself,
and we just turned them back and put them on the boat and said, "Go."
I said to myself,
"Oh my God, what a wicked set of people!" Well, hey, you know, don't believe in have to take judgment someday.
Well, what you feel, but that's what a wicked law. Because
law say you must put them through process.
Well, no, the law didn't say that.
Oh,
it was the putting through process. Somebody has to make the application, and so the application is now made, as was the first one where Hugh Smalls and them.
Yes, to their credit.
So I expect that the next one that comes, you and I.
Me would have, if I had the power, I would have go with the paper on the shore and say, "Hey, fill it out," no? so they can just say.
Why you don't have the power?
Well, because I don't know when they come.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You can beat the government.
Yeah. Oh. Would I love that?
Because they have to pick them up and carry them come somewhere.
Would I love that?
No, but what? No.
Government's first
it is not the government. It is not the government.
Prime Minister said we want a gentler and kinder nation.
Yes.
He speaks of a people of peace in his allocution on Sunday.
Yes.
Where I'm sure you listen carefully. And
yes.
But then the conduct towards these Haitians, that is not it. That is the opposite of it. So why you say one thing and do another?
Well, because he is saying that he has been instructed by laws, locally and international, and I am saying
who can change laws in this country?
I am saying
him saying
that
one.
me and you,
yeah.
When them land, you make us.
Well, fine, Miss Elaine, the attorney, and people like Mr. Small, who I know has helped, and I'm sure there are others. The churches, yes.
Yes.
And I'm. The finger is pointing inwards too. Any church who thinks that they are following the gospel and their Bible base, it is a contradiction for them to turn their back on a refugee.
Yeah, but you need to say congratulations to some little people at Portland.
Yes, of course.
Who break bread.
Yes.
The little bread they had.
Give them clothes.
Share it and give them bush tea.
Yes, sir. And squeeze up in the bed and give them somewhere to lie down.
And I want to tell you something.
Yes.
I am not sure that some of them hide some of them.
Well, maybe so. Well.
Because how do I participate in sending back those children?
Yeah. Quite
and
so.
know the man said, "I know what's going.
Yes.
Come over here.
Yes.
Boom, you're dead."
Aye. Well, and you know, Prime Minister has spoken about. Don't think he called it a crusade. He speaks of the possibility of a Ministry of Peace and Human Development.
Yes.
I'm wondering what you think about that. But it is that process of lifting people, not pushing them down, not squashing them down, that it brings a resemblance between Haiti and ourselves. Because in Haiti, the institutions, the social structures, simply apparently have been weakened so badly, and we in Jamaica have to be extremely careful of that.
What I think you haven't brought out yet.
Yeah.
Is that where Haiti is today?
Yeah.
That's where we were.
I don't think we're as bad as that.
No,
but,
but put it another way. We have passed through the same lane.
Yes. So.
And I mean, Papa Ducks and this were there.
We know.
We were We were fortunate to have the Bustamante and
Yes,
the Norman
Manley.
Manley.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So it's two type of politics that control.
Yeah, but it's one type of humanity, you know.
Yeah, but one have one human
Yes.
that cover all the
No, you're right.
all the humanity.
We have to give credit and give thanks and cherish a tradition that has not placed us in that destructive situation, largely brokered by outside forces as well as by local greed and despotism. We must never go in that direction.
You know, Ronnie, I was discussing this thing locally off the air with a number of colleagues. And one said to me, do you know that there were some white British MPs who fought for freedom of the slaves in Jamaica more than some Jamaicans were fighting?
Indeed. After 1865, the tremendous upset in England over what the rebellion and the way it was dealt with by Governor Eyre attracted the attention of not only the Parliament but also the intellectual class of the United Kingdom. Some for, some against, but there was a strong sense of humanity and of justice that had been breached in the circumstance. Even Karl Marx mentioned it in one of his writings. Lord Carlyle, Lord Somerset, many of the others, and there are books written on that. So it is so. We what we want to do, and what I hope the Prime Minister wants. Gleaner calls on him in the editorial this morning to forward this, and is to so educate and culture our people that they respect life, they respect other people. Yes, that they listen to other people. You and I listen to each other.
Yes, but one of the problem that, one of the good thing that I think we have that not everybody has is that you first have to respect yourself.
Of course.
To feel.
Of course.
Funny, when I look back on some of the things that I passed through, if I had a wicked heart, I would want everybody to pass through that. But because it was so painful, so much hurt. And in fact, when you get in the beating or the lick, you don't feel it, It's when you reach a stage you can't get and look and say, I used to walk barefoot for 4 years on those rock stones. No paved road, no running water, no electricity.
No, I accept that, and it's one of the reasons I admire you, because you have that and you don't have a spirit of bitterness at all. No, the great saint of the 20th century for me is Nelson Mandela,
Who?
Nelson Mandela. He and Martin Luther King. In my church we elevate people to be saints, or we think that God has done so. We revere them. Those two men, in different ways, yes, they went through so much suffering. King gave his life eventually, but they never incubated a spirit of bitterness, of recrimination, of revenge. When I heard Delroy Chuck this morning, I'm so disappointed in him. A man I know who has positive, progressive, humane, practical approach to the administration of justice, justifying, imprisoning children who have done a terrible thing. They've committed a murder for 30 years.
Yeah, but hold on a minute.
God in heaven.
No, but hold on a minute. Let me put it.
He doesn't believe that.
No, let me put it another way.
Yeah.
It's not all children are children. A 15, 16-year-old guy.
No, hold on, sir. I accept. You don't have to make the point because I accept it.
So when it says children, it's...
No. But listen, that is why I'm not suggesting that children who commit murder should be let off. What I'm suggesting is that because all children are not children in the same sense you use it, exactly. The judge should be the one to decide it.
I was waiting. I heard... I don't know. You were behind me, conking me in my head, and I was waiting for Chuck in his last statement to say, all right, it is 20 years.
Yeah.
But there's going to come a time when the judge
No, there
has to
isn't.
look at that.
15 years.
No.
That's what he said. That is what is going to go make law in Jamaica and carry us back to the attitude of 1865, carry us back to some of the raw tactics that go on in Haiti, that are going on in Gaza right now. We believe that recrimination and revenge somehow compensates for crime.
Can I give you a little ease up?
All right.
Delroy.
I'm lying. I admire him, you know.
Ronnie, let me tell you something. First thing, Delroy is not without internal opposition. You understand what I mean?
I do.
I don't want to go too further.
No, you have barbarians all over.
Right? However, I know some 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. No 30-year-old gangster can't catch him.
I agree, but this is not those people alone.
I said to myself, Ronnie, catch me now. I said, Pernell, there are probably in every 10, you might find 3 or 4 of that type. Mm-hmm. But the judge should be able to look at a little guy and see that. He just needed some guidance. Some guidance.
The judge has no discretion anymore.
No. So I am saying to you that if I were at the table with the Joint Select Committee, I would say, why do we have judges to judge?
Yes.
Judge must come with a decision that have some compassion.
Yes.
And when it's not supposed to be compassionated.
My experience comes from the 1970s when the Gun Court Act, and remember they had the penalty of indefinite detention, and I used to go to the Gun Court, and what I noticed was that this desire that people like Michael Manley and the late Dr. Michael Beaubrun and others felt, and I shared it too, that you had to really, red is dread. You were a victim of that, okay? Yes. And that considerations other than the most drastic penalties had no place, because you had to deal with this gun thing. Right. Yes. What happened was that the judges in the gun court were very reluctant to convict. Right. Very reluctant to convict.
But that time you were at where Delroy is now?
No, I was never there.
No. But red was dread.
No. Clearly, but did it work?
Well,
you should know.
Well, hold on.
It never worked.
You said something a while ago. So I wanted to give myself a little pat on the back.
You can have it. You deserve it.
Listen to me. I had and still do have a hard time not liking Michael Manley.
Yeah.
And my wife and others said to me, you said such great things about Michael Manley.
Yeah.
But I said, Michael Manley and myself were at the grassroots in the cane field, in the negotiation. And I look at this white man when he sees certain things and he grind him teeth.
Yeah.
And I said, boy, these two guys, Michael and Thiago, they had a feeling of compassion for the people. And people only say the bad part.
Yes.
Someone said, how can you like Michael Manley lock you up for 1 year? Yes. Your wife had died. Yes. And
oh, God.
The man got to him and said, Michael, just make him leave. And he said, no, he's a prisoner.
Yeah.
And before he died,
one
of his friends came for me and said, Michael, you're going to die in about 3 months. I want you to go and have a chat with him.
My goodness.
I forgot what his name, but one of his friends, I remember. I said, I have no problem with Michael Manley. I'll go and see him.
Yeah.
He said, you would, Pernell? I said, yes. He said, when? I said, anytime. He said, no.
Howard Harris.
Howard Harris.
Yeah, man.
What was his?
Cooch, yes.
Something. He said, Pernell, you go. And he took me in his car. And I went to Michael's house. And he said, Michael, Pernell is here. Pernell? I said, yes. And I go in. And he look at me and say, you come to see me? I said, man, why won't I come and see you?
What a good man you are.
No, well, listen to the rest of it. He said to me, you know, Michael is an outlaw. So we talk about some outlaw deals. And he said to me, I said to him Friday, Michael, me and you was on the committee that is looking at violence. And by the time I go home, you make policemen following me and lock me up in 3 days. And he said, did I tell you already?
No.
He said to me, Pernell, I can take you to Jamaica House right now and show you 3 chairs. One for the Prime Minister, one for the Major General, and one for the Commissioner of Police. And the Commissioner of Police said to me, if we don't get permission to lock up Pernell Charles by Wednesday, no policeman would report for duty in your thing. Commissioner and the Major General said, we too. He looked at me and said, Pernell, if you were Prime Minister, what you do? I said, I'd lock you up.
You lock up yourself.
I said,
oh my goodness, listen to that. That's history, you know.
Hold on. And I said to him, and I could see in his face, because what he said, you know, if you're in a position where you call a state of emergency, and the soldiers not coming out,
and the police
and
not
the
coming
police not coming out,
you're dead.
You die, you are. How you going to say? I said, Mike, I would have locked you up. And laugh, and that was our last stay.
Conversation together.
And I will tell you, I don't care who wants vex. Michael Manley used to speak the words.
But then you see, look at
this. Yes, I said the words, you know, whether I was able to put it in action.
But it's important.
Say what I would love to say on behalf of the poor. Okay.
Well, I'm concerned because I draw from that. One, the generosity of spirit that allowed you to A, go, B, to respond to him in the way he did. You did. And also, my next reflection is look what power, look what compromised position power can put you in. Yes? And what is there systemically then or now that prevents a man like Michael Manley, Prime Minister, who had worked with you in the ways that you have described, from calling you up and sitting down with you and saying, come, we have to stop this shooting or this subterfuge or whatever it is. What is it? And you will tell me that it is the tribal political system. Yes? And I will tell you that that is true. But where we don't seem to agree is that I insist that it is possible for us to do it a different way.
Yeah, but what are the
But I didn't hear that different way on Sunday from the little bit I overheard of you
one
on the
of the
JLP conference.
One of the things that I don't think you heard either, or will ever hear, is some of the things that happen and hear it. Why this is happening? Because, for example, Michael Manley himself for Al Patino.
Yes.
That's where I have to shoot one of his own man, you know.
Oh, God.
You want to hear 2 seconds of it? He had a meeting. He was in charge of all part. And I said, PNP can, NW can have all of the bauxite. I'm going to challenge them. And in 3 months, I had half of the workers said they want me. And the company said to him they cannot negotiate with him when half the workers say they don't want him to negotiate. He called a meeting at noon. And we figured about 400 or so people. Workers, those who look in work, and those who are politically supported. Listen to how he said it, whether he did it willfully or not. I am 3 of us there, 2 guys with me, and stay someplace listening to the meeting. He said, listen, I can't get nothing done for you now. I can't get negotiation going, and you who don't have no work, don't have no hope of getting, because I can't get the company moving because of Pernell Charles. You have to get rid of him from down here. You know what I'm saying? You have to get rid of him.
Get rid of him from down here.
Right? I did not tell nobody to kill me.
No.
you can say what you want.
Uh-huh.
The meeting is finished,
Uh-huh.
and I am
Epic history.
I am down a little place
Yeah.
listening. You know.
Yeah, man.
Friend, me see a police jeep coming down, cut off back.
Uh-huh.
2 policemen in the back with 2 guns, long guns, and 2 in the front.
Uh-huh.
Boy, it's come and stop right behind me.
Uh-huh.
That time me alone, you know, got my 2 men down in the car.
Push.
The crowd is coming, and Michael with about 5 of the officers, hand in hand,
Uh-huh.
and the police stopped behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, me jump into the van. Me catch me afraid. Me catch me afraid. Policeman said to me, hold on, you are police? Come out! Get out of the van.
Uh-huh.
So I get out the van, and him don't drive off, and the crowd is on me.
Uh-huh. Whoa.
The guy named Cookie. I don't know if he's dead. He said to Mike, he was on Michael's right side with his left on him. And he said, they come right up to me. Police jeep behind me, crowd, can't run again.
No.
You know, have a sink or fly. He said to Michael, him have a gun. And Michael, he really say him have a gun, you know. Michael turned to him and said, who have a gun here? And let me tell you, man, the man show him with the right hand in this eye.
Ooh.
Mash up the glass in the eye and broke it. You see this?
Yeah.
Broke my nasal away.
Yeah.
Broke this bone.
Yeah.
I took out the gun and boom! I don't think I put it up as a heart, but when I put it, catch him way down him like that. So.
Yeah.
And the crowd run away, everybody run.
This is the story. This is the kind of thing they make movie of, you know.
Hold on, no. You know who don't move?
Who?
That son of a whoever you want to call him stood up right there.
Yeah.
And I look on him with the gun and I say, it's you caused this, you know. You caused this. Now, the angel was with me because my finger never stupidly draw the trigger.
Yeah.
But I point the gun at him. You know what he said to me? You damn fool, I'm trying to save you. I run, left him. I run, leave him stand up there.
Well, listen to me.
Running towards my car. Hold on. Yeah. And the crowd coming back. They throw more stone and I revert that car at about 50 miles an hour. Right? And when I reach out at the foot of Spur Tree, I know they would have expected me to go on, man. They were going Kingston and make a left and go Black River. And the police carry me secretly to Mandeville Hospital, bleeding, you know. When I reached Mandeville Hospital, the doctor said, Mr. Charles, after I examine you, we don't have the capability, the machinery to deal with matters like this, your eye and this and that. So we have to send it to Kingston. Right here, I can't tell you how I went to Kingston, where there's ambulance, we carry out. But fast forward, about 1 o'clock the night, a nurse, I'll never forget her because one of her whole jaw has a birthmark. Indianish girl, and I know she came from Clarendon.
Yeah.
She came in and said, Mr. Charles, 2 men just came here. It's about 1:30, you know, asking for you. I don't like how them look. I told them, you're gone to another hospital and them gone. You understand? You understand? We shoot them for no. So, that in that story, I make you read it.
Well, what a story that is. Listen to me.
I'll make you read
Epic
it.
history on the Public Eye on the Bridge, 99 FM. We take a break. When we come back, Lloyd Vermont on more pedestrian matters. But we talk the reality of Jamaican history and its present and look forward to its future. Stay with us. Thanks for being with us on the Public Eye. This is the Bridge 99 FM. Trying to still reach Lord Vermont. We had an appointment with him. He gave us his number, so we're hoping he'll be able to contact him. In the meanwhile, though, switching subjects for the benefit of our listeners. Mr. Lord Vermont, well-known insurance executive,
Yes,
wrote a piece.
Is he still here?
Yes,
Lloyd is a guy I knew a long time.
There you are. Maybe we'll be able to reach him after all. But he wrote this piece in the Gleaner 2 days ago about the difficulty of pensioners who find themselves highly prejudiced because of the effects of inflation.
Yeah.
And their pensions are static, are fixed.
Yeah.
One Honourable Pernell Charles and myself are in similar situations.
Yes.
Because both of us are pensioners from the Parliament, from
Yes.
government service. And the fact is that the pension that you were assigned bears no relationship to the cost of living.
Or bears no relationship to the salary simultaneously to the same thing.
Nowadays, yes.
Nowadays.
Indeed.
In other words, if I was Minister of Public Utilities,
Yes.
so if my pension did go along with the pension,
indexed with that, it would be very different. Now, during the tenure of Prime Minister Patterson, a provision was made for the Prime Ministers, which I think is similar for the Governor General, that they continue to receive the salary that of the incumbent.
Yes.
No such provision applies for any other pensioner. Now, some would say, well, tough luck on you. You took what you were entitled to then, and you can't be a continuing charge on people's revenue and the public purse. On the other hand, there are people, large numbers of persons. Remember that those over 65 are the fastest growing element in the Jamaican population. The statistics tell us that. There are large numbers of persons who are depending upon some kind of pension. NIS, where there has been some increase recently, pension schemes of one sort or another. And the net effect is that those people, albeit still a minority of retired people or of elderly people, are facing real hardship. You, Mr. Charles, and I separately would know from our sojourn in Cabinet how often Cabinet of whichever administration has been appealed to for some previous minister or prime minister or deputy prime minister, some person who has given human service in the country and who finds themselves in retirement and in illness on such hard times that they have to beg for assistance. You know that.
Well, could I tell you one other thing that you have missed? Pablo, I don't know.
Tell me.
Bruce Golding was prime minister, and he felt that he would not accept the proposal
Yes.
from Patterson.
Yeah.
And so he did not accept, so he didn't get the increase
Yes.
or move for the new thing.
Uh-huh.
And he was in very serious trouble the other day.
Well, you know.
I don't know how it was managed. I don't think I should go into that.
No, you shouldn't.
But he was the only one who didn't take it.
I know the case of deputy prime ministers.
Yes.
Who have found themselves in
I am aware of that. I voted several times for that.
Yes.
Not only on one side, but on the other side.
On both sides, sir.
Yes.
Yes, I could tell you a story of one of the first committees I ever chaired in when I went to Parliament was human resources or something like that, and the elderly former parliamentarians, yes, would be invidious to mention their names, but from both sides, who came and said, listen, please could you do something? You will remember that during my tenure and I suppose, many interventions, I was pushing during your speakership for even the health insurance privileges.
Because it was Barbara Pickersgill,
Yes.
who came to Parliament, and he was weak, couldn't stand to speak, and so he said, Mr. Speaker, could I sit and address the Parliament? And I said, why not?
Yes.
But hold on. I allow Bobby to sit.
Yeah.
I think that's the only time a man has ever sat
and spoken in Parliament. Indeed.
And some of my colleagues said, what the hell you have just done? I said the man
pusillanimous
could
people
not stand.
So you're going to shut him up. And he's a member. He has a right to represent himself and his people.
So what's the difference between sitting and it's a presentation?
Yes.
And he made a very good presentation.
I'm sure he did. It was a motion I brought forward. Now tell me, sir. Tell me now. Is there a case we've had huge salary increases given to sitting parliamentarians, to the members of the public service? Yes. Still fractional to what some people in the private sector get, but is there a case which I think Mr. Lord Vermont was going to make if he joined us, for pensioners to get some consideration.
Ronnie, you and I know, above everybody else that I can point my finger now, that not only those who are in Parliament,
no,
but some of those who are in the 70, 75, up to 80.
Yeah.
If you look back on their salary 20 years ago,
sure,
then I will tell you of another joke. When I went to North Central Clarendon, the member of Parliament was quite upset with me because when a man begged me money, I gave him a $20.
Yeah.
And he was very upset because it's
inflationary.
Him couldn't go up to $20.
No.
No, you understand what $20 is today as to 20 years ago? So the salary of some of those people cannot go to supermarket.
No, it is
so
okay.
It cannot go to supermarket.
So why do we if we want a just and peaceable society, if we consider humanity or human existence as being the high point of God's creation, why don't we do something about it, Mr.
Well, you see, but probably because you and I are not in Parliament, because this is what I think that the opposition should be doing. If I had come to Parliament and look back and call some names and some years and what the salary is with a resolution, which man could vote against that?
Well, many people did. At the time that I raised it, the Finance Minister, Dr. Clark, was very congenial, but he said everything would have to wait. I raised it particularly in respect of carrying on the health insurance.
Yes.
And he said everything would have to wait until there was public sector reclassification. Yes. Well, indeed it has come, but it has left out many people, because those who would have moved on in the meanwhile, and a whole swath of people who have no security in these vital matters.
And it came because those days people were not educated sufficiently to look forward. There was a general education process, where people stay and say, listen, you're going to come a day when you don't have a salary.
But it's going to
continue. And get worse.
Yes, and in fact, it's going to hit everybody in turn in due course.
Yes.
Although they may think that I'm riding high now, so it never will affect me. But I want to relate this now to a broader situation in the country. While we've been talking about all these different proposals and how to deal with crime and the foreign affairs things, etc. Yes, I saw the Statistical Institute put out the inflation figures, advertising in the press, and of course I'm happy that the level of inflation now seems to be within the band of 4 to 6% that the Bank of Jamaica is projecting. But when you look in the details, this is October, we're ending November now, okay? But this is a month ago. Vegetables have gone up. I took the figures down to point it out. Vegetables have increased over that last year, October, 11.69%.
Yeah.
And pulses and tubers, bananas, plantains, have increased, Mr. Charles, by 30.1%.
All right, let me intervene as a farmer.
Yes, sir.
To a farmer who's a former politician.
Yes, sir. Proud of that.
The truth is that vegetables and things in Jamaica are artificial in terms of how their prices go up. It depends on whether you get rain or whether you get sun. For example, the rain that fell the other day has wiped out pumpkins. Indeed. And
I believe Pastor St. Thomas that you are most familiar with.
Exactly.
It's been devastating.
The water that's gone, the pumpkin dropped, the melon dropped, the onion. So therefore, it's only a small part of Jamaica going to make it or import. And so you know that the price is going to go up 4 times.
So you've given me an excellent explanation.
1 minute. Cabbage, when I went to Coronation Market 3-4 weeks ago, was 350.
You told me.
And I went there last week. It's now down to 150.
Yes.
What happened?
Yes.
Some cabbage come in. What happened? You can look at them and see that they have stripped them down.
Yes.
to almost totally white.
Yes.
Why? Because it was in the water.
Yes.
So it's not only the price of the feed,
Uh-huh.
but the price of water and the sun.
So when you tell me all of that now, sir,
fertilizer and this and that.
yes, when you tell me all of that, which I accept, when your constituent in North Central Clarendon or the ones I used to represent in Central Kingston go to market, how we going to manage when the things that we spend most our little money on have gone up 30% in terms of the basic food, what we call food, and 11% with the vegetables. And you have Honorable Dr. Christopher Tufton coming on the radio and speaking about non-communicable diseases and how we must shift our diet in order to prevent this. And we believe him. But the pocket can't go up to that, Daddy.
Well,
what is the future when those people face what they're facing? Yes? Sunday in downtown. Yes? I watched a woman. She believe me, you think the age of miracles is dead? She's a big woman in the yard. And what she do with some rice, some cabbage, and some ketchup and make gravy. Yes? Who she feed is like what Jesus did on the plains of Gennesaret.
But you know what Jesus has done?
Yes, sir.
The people live longer than some of us, you know.
But, yes, sir, but no,
longer than some of us, so they live in a pure vegetable.
What I know is that there are people who are at the stage of clerical officer. Yes, yeah. They're not working class people who are who now can only eat twice a day. Yes, people who that, and there are people who are lower than that who are working. Yes. Dr. Clark says, look how the unemployment rate is low. Look how everybody, look at this. Wonderful. But the money can't buy.
Yeah, well, that
food.
Is food. That is one of, and I think I told you,
God.
As a trade unionist, right? Uh-huh. Everybody working. There's no, if you call a man for work, him saying we're doing a little thing.
Yes, sir.
But when you go to the supermarket, him cannot face what is there.
So what we are big up yourself for?
No, of course you have to big up yourself.
Why?
Because
for failure?
Hold on. There was a time when nobody could go to the supermarket. They can't go and get little things.
You love telling me about history and improvement, but that don't help my hunger right now.
No, but let me ask you, you're not opposed to the fact that everybody can find a little work?
No. But I want the work to mean, what is the purpose of work?
Yeah, but then you can't
fulfill your basic needs.
But you can't blame government for the price, man.
Look,
you have to negotiate.
Look, my son, I'm looking at the reality.
You look like you're wicked, my wife, you know. You and her.
Yes,
it's saying to me.
It's a great company.
You and her. It's saying to me.
Yeah.
You can't pay no $15,000 a week. That's what you're talking about. The minimum wage is 14. She said the minimum wage is 14. Come to the supermarket.
Exactly, sir.
And she now is putting me under pressure, sir, that what he was given can't hold neither.
No.
So for them can't hold.
Yes, sir.
I say you're a wicked woman.
No, she's a blessed woman. But no, seriously. So when we face, we are leaders. When we go on have party conference and all of that, and we don't deal with that the cost of your food gone up by 30% and your vegetables gone up by 11%, and it's going to be worse now because the rain just take us. And we understand. And we have to go spend out the foreign exchange with the dollar kind of wobbly, yes, to go import more now for Christmas, because it's going to but as night follows day, it's going to happen. Otherwise, the supermarket shelves are going to be empty.
But somebody is calling me to ask if,
yes, sir,
what is the alternative?
The answer is, and I have it.
Yes, come, give it
clearly again.
Show it on me.
The answer is that we have to grow when we can grow, and we must store what we store, what we don't use. One, and two, we have to look seriously at how we avoid the 40% farm gate loss, which is now affecting agriculture. Yes? And it's probably worse than that in some cases.
Yeah,
Yes?
but Ronnie,
These are the things we have to do. We have to do what your son was unable to do when he was Minister of Agriculture, which is to revolutionize RADA. Yes, RADA is not working the way it should.
That was a good idea, you know.
Of course, the use of the lands, yes, the former cane lands, whether it is St. Catherine, Clarendon, Westmoreland, yes, those lands, who want to import have to come up with some investment in the ground.
Stop right there.
Mm-hmm.
Stop right there.
Yes, sir.
I am one of the private sector guys,
Yes,
who have storehouses,
mm-hmm.
and your government.
Mm-hmm.
Can you call me in and say, listen, I notice you have large storehouses that are all empty.
Mm-hmm. Or full up of foreign goods.
We're stopping the from bringing foreign goods.
Yeah.
Come plant.
Yeah. Why not?
What am I going to tell you? But hold on, Siaga did it in Clarendon.
Uh-huh.
Just that we're unfortunate. And I never forget.
But I was involved tangentially with that. Yes. And that was an excellent idea. The problem is that having started it, we allowed circumstances, some political, some exogenous, yes, to defeat what was a good thing.
And it's not one idea.
No.
That has been defeated with that.
Yes.
It's not one idea has been defeated.
10 minutes before 1 o'clock. Mr. Lloyd Vermont, greetings.
Hi, Ronnie.
Hi, welcome and thanks so much. And I have a gentleman who claims acquaintance with you, the Honorable Pernell Charles.
Yes, of course. Hi, Pernell.
Let me ask you something before all the Jamaican people. Don't I know you? So why you told Ronnie that you don't know me?
No, I didn't say that. Oh.
I was pulling your legs. Lord, I haven't seen you for a long time, but we read you the other day.
It's been a long time.
And I see Ronnie, you're going to lead on the part that you're sacrificing for yourself for the rest of us.
well, here is a trinity of pensioners who are on the line.
Yes.
Yes, both Sir P and myself are pensioners, and you, by virtue of age, would be a pensioner too.
Absolutely, yes.
What has happened to your finance over the period of relatively high inflation and a pension which is not indexed, Mr. Lloyd Vermont?
Well, Ronnie, I tell my friends all the time, were it not for other sources, and other sources is really my investment. I have been investing in the stock market for a very long time. Mm-hmm. Other than that, if I were depending on my pension, which is a six-figure thing, I would have been washing windscreen at any.
Look at that.
Any crossroad you want to select.
Oh my.
Yes.
Wow.
But Lloyd, let me disturb you and ask you. Government you can talk to.
Yes.
But a large amount of the unemployed pensioners now are from private sector.
Yes.
And not all of them have insurance. Not all of them have health card.
Right.
I mean, how do we get to that bunch of people who are living better and their fall is worse than a man who wasn't as high as they were?
Okay, Pernell, I think I should make a comment here, which is the focus of that letter you read is really private pensions, because, the NIS is not, it doesn't pay much, but it tries to update its payments over time. So my own concern is for the private pensioners or the people who are members of private pension plans. I believe that whatever is necessary, and I'm not sure what is necessary, but whatever is necessary should be done to encourage indexing, because otherwise we here in Jamaica, where we suffer serious exchange rate adjustments, not to mention inflation. We are suffering.
How?
Yeah, but how about, sorry, Ronnie,
Go ahead.
but how would you suggest to a private sector man who owns a business and he has 20 or so people who have come to retirement age, what sort of holding back profit, or how would he hold back on taxes, or so how would he be able to index that going forward for another 10 years?
You would have to invest your pension contributions in a very astute way.
Properly.
Yeah, but that's sort of institution that does the investment.
Yes.
You wouldn't, in other words, as a private
It
sector
can't
man,
come out of cash from a business.
You know, gentlemen, I think maybe I have a suggestion that
Sure.
I throw out.
Please.
For people like those in the private sector, I would like to see a situation where all those employees are encouraged to become investors. And in addition to that encouragement, I would like to see all of them, in fact, all investors, do or employ a strategy that is called DRIP. DRIP stands for Dividend Reinvestment Plan. If I try to explain it, what it means is I invest whatever I have. Maybe it's $100 a month or maybe $1,000 a month. Each quarter, the company in which I invested would pay me a dividend. Usually, I would eat that dividend. The suggestion I am making is that dividend, instead of being taken and eaten, should be reinvested in the company that pays it. Because doing this, you are compounding your few dollars, and over time, compounding makes a big difference.
Sure, but you have to have another money to buy food, so.
Yes, so I'm saying we have to make a sacrifice at some stage.
Yes.
And we should be getting the encouragement.
Lloyd, I don't think that
reinvesting.
I don't think that this matter has been discussed sufficiently because of the importance of it. Maybe at what age my pension would start, I was in the private sector. From it start to work.
Yes.
And therefore, maybe what Lloyd is saying, there should be an organization that would say, look here, that money that is there is being held by the private sector owner of the bid for the years that I'm there. Could that money be mobilized and go into an investment to do the dip that he's talking about?
Look, what is clear is that our economy presumed that we weren't going to live as long as we are now living. Yes, and that therefore,
that's a part of it.
Yes, a serious conversation about superannuation, about pensions, is yet to take place. That's the reality, isn't it?
It is the reality, Ronnie.
I thought you were a nice guy, but you're not nice.
I want you to dead soon. No,
you want me dead soon?
Let me say another point, which is probably important here,
yes,
gentlemen. Sure. It is that we Jamaicans, individually and collectively, have to come to the realization that we have to plan for the years after we stop working.
Yes.
And that the sooner we start investing, planning, doing something for these many years after retirement,
yes,
the sooner we start doing something about it, the better, and the easier it becomes for us.
So before you go, do we need the equivalent of a 401k kind of scheme that the United States has in encompassing many millions of people, where pension you start contributing towards your pension really from your first paycheck?
That is what we need, Ronnie.
But
Okay.
it's not.
Pension planning
Yes.
should, in my opinion, I might be wrong, but in my opinion, pension planning should be compulsory.
Ah.
Well,
Yes.
well,
it
but
is.
Go ahead.
What about an improved social security system? Stretching the time with you, Sir Lloyd, but
Yes.
the present system, Purnell, of the NIS. Yes. Now I know your son is the minister, but the levels of contribution are woefully limited. The demographic who are members of the NIS scheme is a fraction of the workforce, let alone the potential beneficiary source. Surely we can do something about that.
I am hoping that something can be done, Ronnie.
Yes.
I am seriously hoping, because we are like most developed nations. We here in Jamaica are getting older and older.
Yes, largest growing demographic in the society is over 65, as Mr. Vermont pointed out in his letter.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
Well-
and so we have to, maybe legislation is a part of the answer, but something has to be done
Yes.
to take care of this demographic.
Yes, I
that
like
is
the
getting
idea.
bigger
And
and bigger.
I like the idea of the drip, and I thank you for focusing our minds on what has to be a continuing discussion about our domestic savings, and particularly for our domestic savings after a working life is over.
Right.
Thank you so much for the interview. Sorry it's short, but we'll do this some more. Mr.
It's my
Lloyd Vermont,
pleasure.
our
It's my
pleasure.
pleasure.
Good.
Okay,
Bye-bye
Lloyd.
to you
okay.
and Purnell.
Thank you. And we take a break on the Public Eye on the Bridge. When we come back, there's more. Thanks very much for joining us on the Public Eye. This is the Bridge 99 FM, the Honorable Purnell Charles and myself. Coming up later, Bert Samuels, a noted attorney at law, talking about matters of security, matters of jurisdiction of the Jamaican courts, and particularly our relationship with the Privy Council in England. As you know, that is our final court of appeal. Some people hang on to that. Some people want to be released of it. Some people feel that the Caribbean Court of Justice, which we pay for but don't use completely, is the better alternative. Let's look at some of the options as we go ahead. Just to finish the discussion on the pensions, though, I've had an appeal, or I want to make an appeal for the pensioners of of basic schools. There is a serious injustice being done to people in the teachers in the basic school system. This is the early childhood system, Purnell, the most crucial aspect of education. And many of them are maybe they've been receiving some allowance or stipend from the government, but as you know, the state does not take on the responsibility of basic education yet. They assist, but they subsidize, but they don't. It's not a government-run system, except you're in an infant school, and there are relatively few of those. And many of the teachers who have, you know them from the various villages and country parts, town and in the rural areas. And when they finish, they may have their contributions may have been made to the NIS, but very often not, because parents don't send the money for the child to go to school, and they won't put out the child.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, they can't manage.
Rennie, I want to say thanks
Oh,
to Lloyd, because he has stirred something in me
Yes.
to start to think.
Yes.
And I think there are many of us who might be thinking that way. Many of those teachers never charge any money.
No. And they were so kind.
Many of them have free school in them,
Sure.
in them house.
There's a group called the CCRP, which is a group of pensioners, retired persons.
Yes.
Jean Laurie Chin is the spearheading person of it. And I really am sending out a shout to them to take on this issue of adequate pensions for people who have worked in these capacities. And I'm advocating for the basic school teachers who are really now in a situation where after a life of service, they have nothing and can get nothing.
And I think that we could reach a stage where government have a special presentation in the
well, I think
in the
so.
budget.
And take what Lord Vermont has said, that participation in some pension program must be mandatory.
Yeah.
And if you think back,
Well, they're going to say they have NIS.
no, sir, but from the time of Doc Newland and the NIS system, by the way, one of the important institutional steps that we have taken during our independence period. Yes, Lyndon Newland deserves more praise than he has got for the introduction of that scheme. Nowadays, there are, I believe, tens of thousands of workers who do not contribute to the scheme, and the amount that you can contribute is far too low, having regard to what inflation has done to money value.
Having listened to what Lloyd was saying,
Yes.
I believe that we should reach a stage where if you're a worker,
Yes, sir.
once you start to work, you have to make a contribution.
Yes.
And once you contribute, that's not going to an investment.
Sure. Well, that's what the NIS is supposed to do.
Except that everybody can have something.
Yes.
But there are certain people, it's voluntary if you pay for certain things.
How many of your contract workers, that's been a big problem? They have no statutory deductions. Yes?
That's all the contract. And the farm,
Yes. On account people. Yes.
thousands of
Peasants.
people are working today
Right.
who going to reach a stage where
Right.
you have
Just
to
as the
give
basic
them.
school teachers who we're championing today.
Exactly.
They're prime example. It makes no sense. No.
Once it becomes compulsory, right? Then
The level of domestic savings, of which pension savings are a part, is a vital element in economic development. Bert Samuels, greetings.
Greetings to you. Where is my friend?
Your friend is waiting to greet you.
Okay.
And I'm waiting to hear if you think he's running one of your friends.
No.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Yes,
attorney
sir.
Bert Samuels.
Yeah.
Bert Samuels, we need for your reaction. The issue of the final court of justice, of determination in Jamaica has been an ongoing controversy.
Yes.
And recently, a gentleman by the name of Lord Reed, who is the current president, of the Judicial Committee of the Privy Council, Jamaica's final court of appeal, has written to say, look here, you probably have been misinformed, Jamaicans. We value the relationship we have with Jamaica. We understand that our relationship is entirely open to you to change if you want to, but please understand that we are not burdened by your cases, and obviously we would like to continue if you want us to. How does how does a nationalist in the legal system like Bert Samuels react to that?
Well, why don't you put on the table his co-lord? Was it Philip who said that it's time for us to go?
Yes, Hoffman certainly before him.
Hoffman and one recently too.
Yes.
You have that. So we get mixed signals are coming out of that court. But you say as a nationalist, I mean, I can't comment on something unless I know its history. Your listeners should know that the Judicial Committee Act came out in 1833, the same year as the Abolition Act. So that was a colonial government making sure that the final decision with its former enslaved people, because a lot of them lived beyond 1833, and their children and descendants, that they would have control over the final decision in that arm of the state called the judiciary. So it is in that context that I see that it was set up firstly to control the colonies and the recently freed enslaved African Jamaicans.
Has it served us well or poorly?
Well, has it served us well or poorly? The debate continues, but I'm on the side that it is, from my self-esteem, reasons of self-esteem. Ronnie, one of the retired judges of the Caribbean Court of Justice was my classmate in Barbados as a law student.
Really?
Yes, and I often say, when we thought we couldn't play cricket a century ago, as well as the English, and we got the Caribbean cricket team called the West Indies team, we began to beat the English, right?
Yes.
So the issue of self-esteem that we don't have the intellect or whatever it is deeply embedded in the colonial teachings that we have had, you know? So if I say the West Indies team, you know, could beat the English for a very long time, it means that we too can do it. So it's an issue of national pride and self-esteem that we know we can find in the Caribbean enough minds to make a regional court of a very high caliber, and the CCJ has already shown that it can.
What do you understand to be the resistance to the transference of full jurisdiction of the CCJ? We remember Mr. Edward Siaga speaking about the only true justice coming from the Privy Council, or words to that effect. But who now objects to the transition, and why is it still apparently a vexed issue? Is it just a matter of emotional insecurity?
Well, the Constitutional Committee looking into making us a republic. Being a republic is totally opposed to any view that we need a foreign court.
Clearly.
So I think that the narrative has changed, consciousness has improved, and the world order has shown that indigenous people, everyone wants true independence. So we'll be standing out like a sore thumb if we continue to have this court, which is you know, an indictment on us, as I keep saying, our self-esteem that we can do it too. I mean, the arguments that it is free, that we get it free, but it is not free, Ronnie, you know. And Reid was not speaking the full truth when he said that it didn't cost anything because we can go virtual now and go by Zoom. You know, Ronnie, that we've had to retain agents in the UK, attorneys from chambers, agents to file documents and do a big part of the appeals, and they don't come cheap. Average £10,000.
Wow.
The mayor said to you, I am not an attorney.
Yeah.
My son and my brother are attorneys.
My good friends too.
Right. My father was a country lawyer. You know, country lawyer.
Really.
Go to school, man, ask him how much he is selling cow for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I said this to Mr. Siaga once.
Yeah.
So long as you have this in the Constitution that there should be a vote as to whether or not we do this or do that. What you call that?
Referendum.
Referendum. You're going to have a problem because how are you going to get both parties on one side when we are a people of seeking and taking vote to the easiest side? That is one.
Okay.
Two, Mr. Clark, throw it back on us. He said, I love you. I love when things come. You can convert.
Mr. Reid, Lord Reid.
Mr. Reid.
Reid, yeah.
But guess what? It's up to you. It's you take that decision. The man say it more than once. All the love I love you and all the things that I like to do for you, it is up to you.
So that's why I'm asking Bert Samuels and Pernell Charles, what is it that is keeping us from making, in my view, the only logical decision?
But Brett, just for you answer that, because I want to hit you.
I want you answer it too.
I want to hit you, my brother, and my son.
All right, tell me now.
I do not believe that the group of lawyers, the population of lawyers we have in Jamaica, has done enough to say to any government, listen, whether referendum or what, this is how we want to go. And the last thing is, as I said to him, why can't we have a situation if you want to go to Britain, you go to Britain, and you want to go to Caribbean Court, you go to Caribbean.
No,
why can't?
No.
Why?
I can't agree that, Charles.
Why?
Let me tell you why not.
Yes.
The people and the government have a say in who sits in Parliament, right?
Yes.
And that is the legislature. The people have a say as to who will be in the cabinet by voting for certain people, right? And that is the next arm of government. Then the people have no say in the other arm of government to the appointment of those judges. Any judge them through on us. Him just sit down in court in judgment of us. Where is that democracy in anywhere, any place in the world? So that important arm of the state must reside here in domestic. No, it cannot be, as it were, shared out or given to some other person.
But then would your point then be extended by others, Bert, to say that we really don't need we as Jamaicans can satisfy our own needs for a final court. We don't need to go to Trinidad or have anything to do with the Caribbean court.
I'll go to Britain.
Yes.
None of them.
That's
Ronnie,
yes.
I studied in the University of the West Indies, and the Trinidad man and the Guyanese man, I see them as my brothers. And I think that the larger the pool, the greater the resources. So I don't think that a Jamaican final court is the best thing. I think that for Caribbean unity and that's why the West Indies cricket team is a good example. You know, we are stronger in this region, and we have a common history. We speak English language. We inherited from the same place, the same laws. There's when you're applying to consolidate two matters in court, Ronnie, because they are the same issues, it's the same rationale. We are the same people. Mm-hmm. If we have that, we can move from one place to another in the Caribbean without work permits and all that. Yes. And that Chaguaramas Treaty is consistent with us having institutions that's common to all of us.
I'd like to ask Pernell. Pernell, do you know why the JLP opposes or is hesitant about the removal of the Privy Council as the final court of appeal?
I don't know. I don't know that the hesitation is a JLP policy.
Oh,
I think there are many people in Jamaica, some PNP, some private sector.
No, but from a political point of view, from the standpoint of getting the process underway.
The process.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I mean,
I just give you two. I think that what we were afraid of when I was there was that the political parties, PNP and JLP, has divided this thing in such a way that we are not going to be able to win a referendum.
But clarify, Bert, there does not have to be a referendum on the issue of the court.
Yes.
I don't agree that you need a referendum on it.
I don't think so.
No, but because the Privy Council itself gave some weird reasoning.
Yes.
What we said, which I don't agree with.
In the Marshall Burnett case.
Yes, but I don't think. But I'm heartened to hear that Pernell is of the view that it should get bipartisan support. He's saying that why hold referendum? Just go and get your own court.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying, Pernell?
I would like you to check that for me, Bert, because I may be misled.
I don't think it requires.
And I'm prepared to correct it.
Yes,
there is need to be.
Yeah. No, what I understood is that the Prime Minister has said that if you're having a referendum, since we are going to have a referendum on the issue of Republican status, that there are a number of other issues that need to be similarly put to the people.
Yeah.
This being one of them. But from my reading of the law and the advice I've heard from others, it is not a necessity. What the Privy Council, Bert helped me, said in the Marshall Burnett case was that if you can't give up one entrenched final court without going to another entrenched final court. But that certainly can be corrected by domestic legislation.
Of course, yes, but I'd like to ask Pernell. Pernell, you are saying that you would like the court to be regional or Jamaican. What's your position? Caribbean or Jamaica? The final.
When it was being discussed where I had a vote, I was told, or led to believe, or understood wrongly or rightly that you needed a referendum.
Yeah, but passing that, where would you like to see it? The final disposition of all cases. That's what Bert is asking. Putting it on the spot.
My personal choice?
My
personal choice to be downtown Kingston.
Oh.
Okay.
But I have no objection. In other words, my second choice would be Caribbean Court.
Yes, okay.
Easily.
But remember that the court can come here, and it came here for one matter.
Yes.
Remember, it came here from. It can move around, Pernell.
Yeah.
It can have it
You mean
spends too much in Jamaica.
Caribbean Court.
The Caribbean Court.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, it can move around.
Yeah,
But Lord Reed is saying you can do the same thing from Britain.
No, he's saying you can go on Zoom.
Yes.
Yes, but
It's a different
Pernell,
Yes.
don't follow.
I
that
don't
lead,
want my
because-
don't ask me if I want my case to go Zoom. I wouldn't want to go Zoom.
But no, Pernell, the dispensation of justice can't be private. I'm sorry about that, unless it's a rape case and etc.
Yes.
But Pernell, don't you think it's horrible that the British, when it suits them, throws us out? Your great-grandfather or your grandfather may have fought in one of the wars, did he?
I tell you what I think is horrible.
Yeah.
Is that Lord Reed came here and make a good presentation, but nobody who supported has said anything.
Well, you
Bert
can't
Samuels,
but I want
We're against that.
are the only one who answered.
We're against that. Yes.
But nobody.
Well, no, but then all the more reason why we shouldn't tarry that anymore.
But Pernell, I want to ask Pernell a question. How you feel for your grandfather or great-grandfather who fought in the war in the 40s and didn't need any visa to go to England because they needed his blood and his sweat to fight their European tribal wars. And then today, being the grandson of that man who gave Norman Manley's brother died beside him, shot him in beside him, and they now say we need visa to go up there now because they're finished with us, and still they have no credibility to tell us they should keep our court.
Well,
the British state.
You ask me how I feel. I'll ask Ronnie to answer you.
Well, you get the answer plain and straight. It is outrageous.
If I answer you, you may not accept it.
You may get
but
bad
you
word.
don't understand me.
Yeah.
For me, there's some more things that I am on the other side.
Listen,
Definitely.
Bert Samuels, allow us a minute of short break. When we come back,
Okay.
George Floyd is in Jamaica now. When you see that police video with the policeman foot
Schoolboy?
in the schoolboy, how that come to be, and is this a sign of a lurch towards authoritarianism? Help us with the question of rights and responsibilities and our view of the police when we come back. Bert Samuels, soon come. This is a Public Eye, talking to Bert Samuels, attorney. Bert Samuels, I was outraged at the sight of a little boy who apparently objected to the police threatening to lock up or shoot his father, with being pushed to the ground and a policeman's knee on his stomach and pepper spray in his face. Have we gone that low? Can that be normative? And then all of the circumlocution after that about we're having a thorough investigation. Not a word from the Minister of National Security. Not a word from the Prime Minister against this outrage.
My objection is, why do you want to hear what's more important to the Prime Minister than me and you and hold on and the top lawyers like Bert Samuel the top
who has the authority in this
teacher
country
like you and the bishop and we put it we are making politicians believe that they are the beginning and the end of this thing. It's not true.
Let Bert answer.
Yeah,
Well,
Bert.
well, I think, you see, that's what videotapes do, It pulls up people who should make the response.
Yeah.
Because you can't have a police force and you are in charge of a police force. That is, what's the motto? There are three things they are supposed to do: secure,
Yes. Reassure and protect.
Protect.
Yeah.
And that policy is being breached in your face, and you say nothing unless you take responsibility for it. Isn't it your police force?
Yes.
So I think that the minister himself should have said something. Is it that he's fearful that he will lose the liking of whom if he says it?
Of course.
It must be a decision, a purposeful decision, which the purpose must be ill-informed, because be the child... Ronnie, if you pass and see the police doing that to a child, and you don't intervene, do you not under the Child Care Protection Act, even if it is a police officer?
You're guilty. You can be charged.
Yes.
You don't have to. You don't have to. You don't have to relate to the childbirth. If I were there, right?
I know you.
I wouldn't have to know. I wouldn't have to know the boy's name to tell the police. Can't
tell him you would have.
You would have taken one and hold.
Colonel, I have no doubt that you would have intervened. I know you.
Do you know me that gone to prison too?
Yeah, because you don't see that boy.
Could never take that. Never take that.
No, you're not doing that.
Hold on.
Yeah.
My father was a police.
Yeah.
And he would never take that. There are several policemen who I know right now who, if they were there, they say, you can't do that.
Yeah, but then the report is the inspector who stood there when the appeal was made to the inspector. Certainly one account, the account of the father, says he did absolutely nothing.
And you see, now, Ronnie, I know that you prefer the military. Now, if that happened in the military, that is an offense, to disobey a superior officer.
Yeah.
You and I have known that the young, police officer, like he can do anything without any reprimand or anything from his senior. They don't, you know what they say? I'm a constable.
Yeah.
Irrespective of my rank, and I can arrest a citizen.
Power of arrest.
On my own.
And then when Mr. Samuel, Mr. Charles, we those of us who are very cautious and wary of the state of emergency, we are thought to be connivers of crime by some big legislators, yes? Dishonorable people if they would acknowledge it. You want to give that person who has that power of arrest the right to pick up Pernell, Bert, Ronnie, or that child without charge, without having to answer any questions at all, and keep that person for a longer duration of time without them having any recourse to the court. And we must say that this is a necessary thing for crime fighting. Jamaica gone to the dogs, worse than the criminal.
Yes, so
Bert, I am holding him down, Bert.
Yeah, but Pernell,
I'm holding him down.
Pernell, but Pernell, that I can go to the court after one day when they detain you. Yeah. And a judge can ask the police to come to court and tell me why you have Pernell in that cell. Mm-hmm. Not to release you right away, no, but the police come and say, I'm investigating a murder and he's a main suspect. But when you don't have no recourse, Pernell, no judge can't interfere. That's a police state.
But
that is a police
exactly
state.
That Bert Samuels was what happened to Pernell Charles in 1975, 76.
That's why I asked him. That's why I was asking him.
So he can't defend this, and the people who rightly criticize this, yes, rightly are the ones now perpetrating the very thing.
Did you know that they put me on a bread and water for 8 days?
No.
Yes,
my God.
They had
because they wanted to break you.
They had 5 or 6 women in one room and one big bucket. And I raised hell. Yeah. You know what I'm doing?
Bucket, of course.
You know what I'm doing?
Yes.
And one big bucket.
Yes.
Man, I raised hell. They draw me out and put bread and one big glass of water. 2 slices of bread. And hold on now. Hear the big joke. Hear the big joke now, Bert. And say, I warn you, it's 8 days you get. The next time you do that, it's 16 days. Hear me? Thank you, I lost 8 pounds.
But Pernell,
I lose 8 pounds, you know. Yes. Sorry, Bert. Go ahead.
Can you imagine the little ghetto boy a raise hell? The baton broke up his foot.
Yes. So, but then the public, the reason why we're entertaining this discussion is that the public listening to us, the public must understand what a perilous situation we are getting into. When I hear, I go back to it, Delroy Chuck this morning, yes, and the Joint Select Committee of the House agreeing that a child who is caught, who is found guilty of murder, terrible crime, must be punished, but is going to be given a minimum of 30 years.
Jesus.
God in heaven.
But Ronnie, there are some
cases before
there are some murderers.
No, we understand.
Well,
but let the judge decide.
Can I give Pernell the perfect example? Yes. You ready for it, Pernell?
Yes.
A girl tell her mother bad word in the presence of her brother.
Yeah.
him take a chair and fling off her. The chair break and it spike. And one of the spike wooden legs stick her and she bleed to death. Charged for murder. 30 years, Colonel.
Well, no. I don't agree. I don't agree if you're looking at. I don't agree if you look on just the child.
Mm-hmm.
My problem is those boys were so bad.
So what are you doing?
Listen.
Understood. One case.
Go back to your situation. This is what must go before the judge.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
that's right.
I'm saying two things. Let the judge be the final arbiter, and I'm saying
one size fit all is happening.
Can't be. And
it's minimum, It's minimum, Charles. You can't get out of the 30 years. Crazy. I mean,
let me ask you.
Queen's Counsel put forward that.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think some should get 30?
That will be for the judge to decide.
You're a judge now.
No, I'm not. I haven't heard the evidence.
Oh, yes, you're smart.
No,
it's not smart. The chair spike. The chair that spike is a good example. But Ronnie, can we go back to the child being beaten and picked that way?
Yeah.
Can I tell you how many enemies of the police that policeman earned?
Of course.
All his classmates.
Yeah.
All his schoolmates.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you something.
His cousin, his brother, his mother, his auntie, his community.
And the longer it remains unrequited, it is embedded in the minds of all of those, yes, who saw the video, who saw the thing on TV, yes, who say to themselves, boy, it's so it stay in Jamaica, me not stay here, or I'm going to arm myself so that it can't happen to me, or it causes a deep social distrust and unrest, and we think that somehow we have to defend that because we are in a state of high crime. We are contributing to the high crime, Bert Samuels.
Ronnie,
could I tell you that?
Let Bert just finish.
Could I tell you that there are some policemen who don't agree with that?
I agree with you, but listen, Pernell, a very fair judge made this point in the gun court when he heard the evidence. The policeman said when he drove up in the community, all the boys them run. And the judge says, I can't be fooled by that. I know that certain communities in Jamaica, innocent and guilty run when the police comes, because a man can be detained for 2-3 weeks just because him on the corner. So the fear of the police don't necessarily mean that him is criminal. No, that's what we have done now, where a law enforcement officer goes in uptown and the community comes out to him. Downtown and the community disperses. That's what has resulted. So how you expect cooperation and to get information in that situation?
Bert Samuels, before you go, one of the concerns that you have expressed and others is the length of time the process of justice takes. I believe we've had recently where complaints, both on the civil side but more egregiously on the criminal side, where people have served their sentence before the transcript is available so that the Court of Appeal can adjudicate, where there are long delays in the presentation of judgments when cases have finished, which have a similar effect. Is this so serious that it's worth talking about? And if it is, what can be done about it?
Well, I'm sure you'll call me back on that, but my brief statement, because I have to go into court shortly, is that the Ray Morgan case, the man waited 10 years to get his transcript.
10 years.
And the final court, I won't say which final court, made the point that the court must condemn that, and the public must see the judges condemning delay because it affects the quality and the respect for the rule of law.
Justice delayed is justice denied. He has to go.
The lawyers. Okay. Attorneys.
I tell you again.
Attorneys.
Love to deflect. Thank you very much, Bert. I hope you get through in your case. Thanks so much for your company.
You listen to me when you're gone, because I'm going to tell him plain and true that I oppose what the police did with the boy. And if I were there, and lock me up because I would have gone over and said, can't do that.
Yes, sure.
Don't care what is
we know that of you. This is a public eye on the Bridge 99. We don't need to break, do we? That's great. Colonel Charles, help me now. We've covered a whole heap of issues today. Tell me about the members of Parliament, though. The two in your immediate family. Do I understand that they have been given some $24 million, Prime Minister announced, for various road fixing over a period of time? The amount of money that MPs are getting now would make you and I jealous.
Yes, but let me tell you something.
Except they don't get it.
24 million can't fix one road in St. Thomas.
Listen to that.
So
really?
hold on. There is a road that I know up in Robertson Place. I have a problem for you. All the farmers have to go in that road.
Yes.
To pick their coffee.
Yeah.
Road come down, block up the road.
Landslide.
What they have done, get together and say, MP, find the government, send money and tractor come. When my father was operating, roadblock, all the farmers, them coming in far and go and open road, you know.
Yes.
Those things don't happen anymore.
Why not, sir?
Because...
What has changed?
What has changed? Because when them come up and the camera come, the TV come,
Then we'll look for that.
the organization come and they can talk, and the paper come and then come on TV and then make all the noise. They want the government to come clear the road same time.
So no, but I'm asking, what has changed fundamentally in the human nature?
In the date when my father was there,
Right.
all the farmers would say, "Gentlemen, the road come down, you know.
Yeah.
You know, come in, you know,
Well,
far
I heard
and then clean and open road.
I
and
heard
gone,
the
that don't
farmers
work.
at Westphalia in St. Andrew, right on the border of St. Thomas, place I know very, very well,
Yeah.
last night saying that every Monday they take what we call morning sport to
open road.
to try fix the road. That is the spirit we want.
That was what we had.
Yes, sir. But you know what bothers me?
Yeah.
That I accustomed in my youth to PWD.
Yeah.
And the Englishman had a lengthman system.
Yes.
Yes. We
Yes.
keep the road clean.
Yes.
One relative of mine was director of public works for the colonial
Yes, yes.
administration.
Yes.
And the place is fixed up not bad. Nowadays, 61 years after independence, yes, several things. One, the road bad. Two, government can't fix it in time. And three, the spirit of the people to do what your father and people in that era used to do. It not did there again. Why?
Yeah, but I heard you say one mistake. I leave my house 5 o'clock in the morning. They have some men and women still on the road cleaning it up, you know.
Good.
Coming on Reddy's Road and Mullines Road.
Yeah.
The woman there with a basket, sweep up all the
Who
trash.
they working for?
I never know that was still going on.
Well, thank God for that. That
Yeah,
is the
but
right
that's-
spirit. I hear the Prime Minister saying you're going to privatize waste management.
Who?
Prime Minister say they're going to privatize, give private sector waste management. Yes? Why they don't give it to the municipal councils? The municipal councils must be the one to do it.
But let me ask you a question. You don't think a private sector would take up more garbage and clean up the place more than a governmental thing like the parish council?
When you
You don't think so?
let me answer you.
Yeah.
Inherent in that question is your acceptance that government can't really do things too tough, that private sector better than government. I can't believe that.
No, well, let me tell you, there are something that the private sector will do
Yeah.
much better
And
than the
there's-
governmental
Indeed, I
organization.
accept that. But I also know that if you do that and the private sector has that profit motive, which they must, yes, that is going to cost us more. Yes?
But
And it is an exercise in self-contempt that we have to ask business people to come and pick up for our dirty. And we have a local political system where we have supervisors, councillors on the ground, yes, where and they cannot take charge. They have no authority. They will have less authority when private sector is running the garbage truck. They will have less authority than they do now, even with the government agency.
Not necessarily,
Oh my
Ronnie.
God, why we so
not necessarily. If you, for example, if you give Mr. Brown
Yeah.
the authority to pick up all the garbage in Mona
Yes, sir.
at a price, Mr. Brown will be there and get it picked up because he knows I'm going to get dismissed the next week if you don't pick it up. Does that make any sense? Does that say anything
It could
to you?
be. But the councillor, what is the role of the councillor?
Him don't get no money. Him don't have no money.
Councillor is a eunuch. No balls.
But him don't have no money.
Why am I money? Because we don't want to give him money because we fear him thief.
No, sir, Randy, oh man, no.
But then, what else?
Hold on.
What other reason could be that the political representative on the ground who taxes are collected for street lighting, for drain cleaning, yes? What else? They have absolutely no power, no authority. Every councillor, some of them councillor, we stand up on stage at your conference, man, by the way. Please don't send us a bill for...
For what?
I brought a $20 to give you as a dowry.
You're laughing after me?
No, I laugh because
I'm going to tell my man of credit you're laughing after me.
No, I'm laughing after what you do, you take. because you know no answers.
Hold on. Uno did do bad.
Lord.
Uno did do bad. Uno collect offering.
Yes.
Got through this collect offering.
Of course.
You get them the money out of country and then come in and give us offering. So you get back the money the other way.
We're church convention, you go to take up offering.
Yeah, I hear my man of prayer laugh after me right
Truly?
now. Say, yeah, Mr. Charles, you catch him, catch him.
And Montague and who else? Chance, nobody get any money to go to JLP conference. Oh, God.
But that's, no. Nobody get any money to go to JLP. They only get the fare pay and the lunch.
And what else?
and if you beg a thing, you get a thing.
Listen to me. When on
you don't pay nobody for go conference. But you have to get something.
On Sunday.
You don't call the pay.
On Sunday, I was driving through an area that I'm very familiar with. Yeah. And a group were readying to go. Yeah. And so they waved to me. And they said to me, look here, you see you when it's you with his own little 2,000 we didn't get. No, look on the money.
Rani, but listen, let's give it a look. Let's do a look of politics on you. Mine is bigger than yours.
We're not ready.
Mine is bigger than yours. Not true.
Yeah, man.
Eh?
Probably.
I mean probably. You know, man. Hear this now. You know, so whole heap of man come a town, come a conference, and not go a conference.
True. I see plenty of them on the street later in the day on Sunday.
There was no space for them to go to conference. Yes. And I, who didn't have a driver, and drive down like big man, spent 2 hours in my car between Children's Hospital and the place. Because I was hearing it and the things, I never worry. But when I go, there was no space.
So tell me now.
How do people, why you make so much people come to conference?
Because I think it was an excellent idea. I hope they came with fulsome spirits to defend the national purposes that you and I represent.
Hold on.
But I'm asking you now, when
don't ask me no question I can't answer. You know.
When the MPs get this big money now, what are the people to expect? You said the money not big, because the
people who come.
No, gone beyond the conference. No, what the Prime Minister announced said money for roads, money for various things. But the MP is still quarrelling that some of the money that was promised last year no come through yet.
Right, hold on now. Let us say, I'm not talking with the Prime Minister, I'm talking like me, who you're quarreling with. Now, in Arizona, we've had some funds that we've been speaking about for the whole 4 years.
Yeah.
At the end of 5 years, we've got to spend all of it that year.
Yes.
And it is in the interest of vote that, we don't care about any of the money and we give it all. We may get some more vote.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Okay. I say that is...
You'd agree with me?
Well, listen, no, I know how the thing's set, but I think that is I don't think you can build a nation on that basis.
No, but the truth is this.
I used to find money that came to an MP to be a terrible crisis, because no matter what you got, the demand was for 5 times more than that.
I give you one, Ronnie. They're giving MPs $20 million.
Yeah.
There are some breakaway that you couldn't get a contractor to do for under $30 million.
30 million.
So therefore, it's just waste of time.
Yeah. So it's a joke.
The MPs who get $20 million now is $20 million out of problem.
Yes,
you can't.
Precisely.
Baby can't get.
So why we build a system like that, and why we impose it on that and encourage people to think that that's the best way to do it?
But we have a political system,
and the political system.
We can't pay for the political system.
So,
but we have to have the system.
You know, we have.
When you always get up tomorrow and don't have a system, how will you survive?
No, I cherish and revere politics, but the way we run the system now, which I know you agree, it can't take us where we want to go. And
but
this is
what
a
is
prime
the alternative?
Of it.
What is the alternative?
The alternative is to rework the constitutional order regarding representation and to move towards, first of all, a more consensual system, and I believe work to implement that with some kind of proportional representation where people have a shared responsibility for this. And if you do that, then you're going to get more value for money rather than it always, because the moment it is announced that there is money and you're in government, you're an MP, yes, the demands just multiply on you. I dare any representative, present or past, to tell me otherwise.
Well, I know you were a minister, and as such you were a top executive in the PNP. Have you ever made such a presentation to them? Mm-hmm. Why? You're afraid them run you out of the room?
No, I acknowledge that my consciousness about the ineffectualness of the present system has increased when the more in retrospect. Yes, when you're caught up in a system, and it's true of all of us, your attention is almost entirely on maintaining that system and surviving in that system. And when I know better, I say better, I do better.
Well, I will tell you something, what you have just said. When I was there, and
last word,
they give some money and say, this is for the constituency. When I reach the constituency, that money can't do anything.
So why them set you up, so?
And
Honorable Pernell Charles,
but hold on,
veteran politician.
The councillors don't have any either.
No.
But you expect every councillor, the bridge in Mandeville can't work.
What kind of what better description of futility can you possibly have?
I will tell you, Ronnie. Give me 10 seconds more.
10 more?
The system that we have needs a better cooperation at the head.
Yes. Well,
if we can get the heads to work together, I hear you, your man, saying that the Prime Minister has just said something that is teeth in teeth from them. How can we run a system like that?
Well,
when we should be united in making it.
The last word has been spoken by the Honourable Pernell P. Charles, OJ, and we thank you, all of our audience, for engaging us in this, giving us the opportunity first on the bridge to engage in this discussion. And hopefully it has been of some entertainment, enlightenment, and we look forward, with your kind permission and presence, to join you next Wednesday on The Public Eye. This is The Bridge, 99 FM.